on a nice.
What's the rule, Jade? If it's not on sale,
it's not for sale. Actually, John and I, you'll appreciate, we were in Hobby Lobby the other day, and John said, that mirror's $275. I said, oh, honey, it's not on sale. If we're in Hobby Lobby, if it's not on sale, it's not for sale. That's not how this store works. Let's go.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. It is time for the latest episode of the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kirby Hasseman. As always, joining me, the rock star, the branding bestie, Jade Kreider. Jade, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I brushed my hair and everything today, so I think it's like a whole new episode for everybody. If you're not watching, maybe you should today.
That's right. We've showered.
I didn't do that.
Oh, no, let's not go crazy.
I'm totally kidding.
Hey, it's radio, it's TV. It's not scratch and sniff. So
you can't
I don't
smell
really
me.
Care. Yeah, that's right. I don't care. But other than that, you're doing pretty well.
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm doing well too. If you are new around here, this is the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. It's brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. Our goal is to help you elevate that merch, elevate your marketing. And if you want to learn more about us, just head over to hassemanmarketing.com. We've got tools over there, whether you're in the marketing space, the HR space. Those are sort of the audiences we tend to work with. So, Jade, let's dive into the topics today. Do you want, why don't you lead us off
okay.
Again, if you're new around here, Jade kind of leads us with the topics. She comes up with these topics and then we kind of discuss them. So why don't you set the stage if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to hear about it now. Duolingo recently announced that they are switching. I don't know the exact wording that they use, but they're using AI now. For a long time, they had used contractors to help with the stuff and the learning, and now they're strictly using AI. And it's been an interesting transition, and so I kind of want to share our take on it, because they went from their social media platform has grown substantially. They've taken the bird and put it on people, and they've killed it with the social media game.
Yeah, we've talked about them with their mascot, right?
Yes, their mascot was great. And so they were targeting, I feel like, Gen Z and millennials because of TikTok. Like, TikTok was their presence. And then they were like, hey, we're going all AI, thinking that they were going to get a bunch of support. And everyone went, oh, so you're not supporting local people anymore? Oh, okay, then I'm not supporting Duolingo anymore. So I just thought that's kind of the background if you don't know what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know the background. You just sent me this, and so I Googled it and was just so I could be somewhat educated. They've already kind of come out and said, look, hey, we're not getting rid of all of our employees. We're still got the basic learners, but we're utilizing AI to accentuate that and the learning and all that sort of thing. So I'll give you my take, and it might be a little bit surprising to you.
Okay.
Maybe not. So I think this is a great example of, two things about this. In some way, I think it's much ado about nothing. I think that every organization that can utilize AI to make themselves faster, quicker, more efficient, not only should do it, they already are doing it, right? Now, I think that you need, at least at this point, you need humans to drive this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And if then you can utilize AI technology to help you be more efficient, be more accurate, whatever it is, I think you should do that, right? Mm-hmm. I think the thing that's been interesting, the article I did not write it, that I read.
AI wrote it.
Yeah, probably. Klarna, I think, and Duolingo were the two examples. Here's what I guess my take is that if you are going to utilize AI to accentuate the customer experience, to make things faster, do those things, do that first and then announce that you've done it. Don't announce it and then because I think that's one of the mistakes I've seen both of those organizations make is they make this big announcement and Klarna, I might be getting that name wrong. They're actually announcing that they're hiring people because it didn't work. But someone has to be the guinea pig. Someone is going like has got to try these things, and the people who do that, it doesn't always work. Like in every like someone was there. For those who are my age, remember pets.com. It was like one of the big e-commerce platforms, and they were going to be all this and all that, and they completely failed. But somebody had to be the first e-commerce. Somebody had to be the first email marketing. Somebody had to be the first that said, look, I'm going to go all in on AI, and it might not work. So I think people freaking out, like you and I've talked about this on this very podcast a couple of times, that there's a flavor of the day. I was going to say the week, but it doesn't last that long. It's a 24-hour news cycle where someone is pissed off about something, and by God, they're pissed about that. And then there's something new tomorrow. So that's my take. What's yours?
I like it. My take is simply, if you've been targeting a generation of people who clearly feel strongly about their values, it was stupid. Like, the way that they did it was stupid. I don't know how else to, like, that was my first thought as I saw that they did it and went, you idiots, you had the whole generation. Like, why would you do, like, and just the way that they went about it, I think it's like you said, there's different ways if you kind of did it first and you did it slowly and you did it and just saw if it worked before you kind of announced it. But they literally, somebody joked that they killed off their owl like a couple months earlier, and they were like, it was just a preface. They were just warning us that they were going to ruin the whole company. And I actually thought that was hilarious. But I think it's just a matter of, like, again, I say this a lot now, but who are you targeting?
Yeah.
Because that article was not aimed at the people they've been targeting for the last how long?
Yeah, it's interesting,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
I think, yeah, no, I do. And I think that I buy what you're selling on that, in the sense that, but they thought they were. So, and what I mean by that is, like, the younger generation, they get technology, they are into it, they're going to love what we're doing, but they miss sight of the fact that I think that they miss the humanity piece of it. And then also it's about, I think what you're selling is different, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, Gen Z is potentially, cares about issues and stuff like that, but they also really care about the experience, their customer experience. And so if you tell the story in a way that you're like, here's how we're making it better for you, I feel like it's just a different conversation.
Yeah, and also just, like, if they would have said it in a way of, like, hey, we're still utilizing humans.
Of course,
we're just going to also utilize AI. That's a different story. But the stuff that I saw, and again, I actually haven't even researched it. If you want the whole honest truth, I saw the 3 TikToks and moved on with my life about it, because that's how much I care. I don't use Duolingo anyways. But the way that it was perceived to me, and I mean from their TikTok videos, was that they were doing away with all humans.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think that's what they're doing, because you just can't do that. But that was the way it was perceived. And so, like, you just have to kind of put yourself in, when you're doing a big change, put yourself in the perspective of the consumer, your target audience, and go, okay, how are they receiving this? Because not like that. That's not the answer.
That's fair.
That was really all. I just thought we'd give our 2 cents on that one.
I think we succeeded. Okay, so second topic, we wanted to talk about the impact branded merch can make on an event. And, I actually had a conversation about this with Savannah Dimitru recently on Delivering Marketing Joy. And we had a great, and I'll probably reference something she said because I really liked it. But I think we're looking at it through the lens of our own event. We do a customer event every year. If you are a customer and you're listening to this right now, you can please register. It's at September 23rd from 11 to 3. Go to show.hassemanmarketing.com and you can register right now for free. But one of the things that we do is that we build some really cool merch around the event. And so we sort of, I think, wanted to just talk through what that meant to us, how we view it, and how that kind of shapes the event, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. And also just, like, kind of how we're utilizing the merch to make it part of the event, if that makes sense. Kind of the things that we're doing, maybe you've never considered, maybe you've already considered it, maybe you don't want to hear it. But Either way,
But you're
deal with
here,
it.
so
I think part of this came in my brain from the fact that we have been heavy on the show right now. We have a bunch of
yeah,
stuff going on this summer, so I'm trying to get ahead of it this year. Truly is the
yeah.
truth. And so I've been reaching out to a lot of our supplier partners who are coming to our show this year, and we
Mhm.
have more suppliers than we normally do, which is
Yeah.
exciting. But the stuff that they're donating this year really blends well with our theme this year, and it's getting me so excited.
Yeah.
And so I thought we could kind of talk about that, but then also kind of how we're the posts and stuff like that we're planning on doing for kind of tips for your next event.
Yeah. So just as background, we've done this show. I've lost track. So it's between 15 and 20 years. We've been doing it for a long time. We were pretty early
Mm-hmm.
to the sort of end user event game. And really for the last, I don't know how many, 10 years or so, we do a different theme every year. This year's
Mm-hmm.
theme is branding base camp,
Mm-hmm.
sort of an outdoor adventure. We're talking about going to the journey to Merch Mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we've created a logo around the event, and our suppliers have like really dove in headfirst with ideas. And then Jade, just to give you credit, has done a good job of curating and saying, look, we want to make sure we hit all the spots and that the items for the most part really fit with the theme. And when you do that around an event, it can be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just tell you sort of a couple quick things. Number one, delivering marketing joy, our tagline
Mm-hmm.
started with our event. I don't know if you know this.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so we were doing the show, and right before the show started, we were getting, suppliers are sending in the branded merch in advance of the event, and we all do this for a living. We do it every
Mm-hmm.
day. We're working with clients around this. But as the event approached, every day we were getting something new. Oh, the bags are in. Oh, the tote bags are in. Oh, the pens are in. Oh, this. And so literally the whole team would like, oh, let's see how they turned out. A group of people who do this for a living were excited to open the box. And that's where we said it's like a little piece of Christmas morning every single
Mm-hmm.
time. And that's where we coined the term marketing joy. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was about our show that we got so excited about it. And so when you talk about and again, we're jaded by it. Like, so we get so excited around this kind of thing. So I think it really can shape the excitement around an event.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one of the things we're doing this year that I don't think we've done, at least since I've been here. Again, keep in mind if you're listening to this podcast, if you don't know, I've only been with the team for about 3 years. Now, of course, I grew up around it, but I've only been truly
paying
deep
attention,
dive caring for about 3 years. And one of the things we're doing this year is to help kind of get people interested and get people excited is we're going to do some social media posts. So it's going to be kind of like a sneak peek of the suppliers you'll meet, so you can recognize a friendly face when you get there and you're walking around the show floor. I'm kind of excited about that aspect of it, especially because we have some new supplier faces this year, and I think hopefully some new client faces. But the thing that we're doing is kind of giving a preview of the items that you'll get to collect at the show. So we're kind of showcasing the merch ahead of time to build so AK, if you're not following our social media, make sure you are, so you can see the sneak peeks of what's going to be at our show this year. Totally. But I think that's going to be a cool thing because I'm seeing even just I know we have a few things already at our office, but even just the virtuals and things like that have done up in the proofs, I'm literally like, ooh, that looks cool. We got to show that. We got to show that off. So I think it's been a cool thing of it's taking an event that we could do in a meh way. And we joke about the fact that when we do this event, we go all out. If we're going to do a theme, you're going to dress up as Wonka. If we're going to do a theme, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And so utilizing the merch is, I think, really coming together this year, especially.
Yeah. And so if you are listening to this and you're like, oh, I'd like to do an event, one of the things that we talk about a lot is kind of touching all the senses. It's one of the things that branded merch does really well. It touches all 5 senses, right? So we think about, okay, when you walk in the building, what does it look like? What music is playing? What does it smell like? What like thinking of how that all gets engaged is something that I recommend when people put events together. You think about it that way. You think about it in more of a 360-degree way, and it makes the event more special. And obviously merch is a piece of that. And I wanted to give a shout out because if you haven't had a chance to listen to my conversation with Savannah, Merch Girly, she compared the merch at an event to the appetizer or the dessert of a great meal. And I really like that. So it's like, here's the first thing you get right when you get in there, and it helps to satiate you a little bit before the whole event.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the things that she got me thinking about was about this idea of dessert. What's the experience they have on the way out? And so something to consider if you're looking at doing an event. Those are just some little tidbits to make you think about it differently.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and two, I think one of the talking kind of about the dessert, it's not the same as the dessert because it's almost even a little bit after the dessert, if that makes sense. But like a lot of the ways we've been picking the merch this year, and again, we talk about this a lot, but again, really getting to implement it on our own is fun, is that suppliers have been like, hey, here's like 4 options that I'm thinking. And we kind of sat down as a team and went, okay, what are people actually going to use later on? What are people actually truly going to keep in their cabinets? What are people actually truly going to keep in their house that won't just go in the trash? We are actually working so, and I think it's something for you to consider. Don't just get the stress balls because they're cheap and easy. What are people genuinely truly going to take home? Is it the chapstick? Is it the lanyard? Is it the flashlight? What is that item that you truly believe people will keep?
Yeah.
Because number one, obviously better for the economy, and number two, it keeps your brand in their house for longer. So just keep the appetizer and the dessert in your brain the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
and I do, the ultimate in sustainability is something that is used over and over again. So, all right, cool. All right. So the next topic, I really want you to explain it because I don't understand it.
You know what? At least he's honest. So essentially, I'm going to quickly ask Kirby, and I'll try and keep this fairly quick, but I think it would be so this is kind of just going to be a fun take on Gen Z versus Gen X. We're going to each kind of give our quick opinions, and then I'll tell you what statistics say, if that makes sense. Okay. So Kirby, when it comes to digital use, do you prefer desktop or phone?
Oh, desktop all day, every day. Not even close. Phone.
So it's funny.
Of course you do. Yeah. See, that's
it makes sense.
So what's interesting, though, just real quick, is talking for a generation is always tough. And you've said this before, and I appreciate that. See, Amy would probably say, my wife would probably say the opposite. But like, I do not enjoy, like, I use the phone as a necessary evil. I would much rather use it's actually a laptop.
Well, and also I say this too to say, we're talking about this, and my thought was to consider your target market before we keep going. Who are you targeting? Are you targeting Gen Z or are you targeting Gen X? Now, I'm not including millennials in here. We're just skipping an entire generation, and I get that, but we are the other two. So,
that's what we're talking about.
It's kind of a fun perspective just to hear what the stats say. What is your personal favorite influence source? So TikTok, Facebook, social media, or, Twitter, email is part of that. Your peers.
My favorite influence source for consumerism. So in other words,
specifically. Yeah. Where do you go for like a reference when you're trying to figure out what you want?
That's a great question. This is a hard question for me. I would say number one is probably still friends, because it depends, right? Because this is different. This is a different question than what's your favorite social media platform.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of worded it incorrectly. Specifically for influential source.
Yeah, I think probably Facebook. Still. It's just the biggest, yeah.
Okay. And ironically, I would easily say TikTok. Like, it's not even a question mark for me because it's just where I spend most of my time. Yeah. So it says for Gen Z, the biggest is going to be TikTok. Influencers specifically. Like, if they have a specific influencer that they really like to follow, and then their peers. They trust like what their buddies say. And for Gen X, it says reviews, Facebook, and email. I think it's just interesting. If you're targeting Gen Z, find an influencer on one of the platforms. If you're targeting, it's just an interesting. Anyways, we'll keep going. I like it. Spending focus. Where do you find yourself spending what are your biggest? What's your biggest priority for spending?
Do you want to give me the multiple choice?
No, I'm not giving you the multiple choice because you're going to make a joke about it. Is it self-expression, Kirby?
No. So in explaining this a little bit behind Inside Baseball, she said something about, are you spending money to
make you feel like you?
Yeah, to make me feel like me. I'm like, who the hell else would I feel like? Like, you just encapsulated the different in our generation in one sentence. I was like, no, I do not spend money to make me feel like me. Like, I spend all of my money on mirrors.
Joke's on you. I gotta buy like 7 when I get into my new house. So
okay, so Okay. Give me that question again. I'm sorry. I took us totally off track.
Where would you say your spending focus is? Do you want a couple examples? Would that be beneficial for you?
Please.
Yeah. So do you spend a lot of money on the trending products? Do you spend a lot of
Mm,
money on like family type products? Do you spend a
yeah.
lot of money on tech, practicality, or self-expression?
So not self-expression. Although again, when you say it's self-expression, that's a little bit different than make me feel like me, but whatever, it's fine. Um,
Nope.
I,
It's the same.
no. So I'm going to go with practicality probably at this point.
Okay.
I
This
mean,
one's a weird one, I know.
yeah, I
but
have tech, but yeah, and then anything to do with family, if you want to put them in
yeah.
those order. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're feels right. So I don't. Trends is probably where I go. Truthfully,
Yeah.
I am again when I'm as influenced easily as I am by TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't always help it. I see a cool couch on TikTok. I'm like, ooh, I might have to go
Yeah.
buy a new couch. So
yeah, I don't give a shit about trends. Yeah.
yeah, so Gen Z is trends, tech, and self-expression, which makes sense because I think that is a thing. Value, family, and practical needs are Gen X.
What did you say? Value?
Family and practical needs.
Yeah, I think that
yeah,
that
feels
fits
right.
me. Okay, I like that.
There's a couple more. I promise I'll be quicker.
Yeah, that's fine. This is fun.
How important is brand loyalty to you? Would you say sticking with a brand, do you think it's more important to you or a little bit less important to you?
Again, I'm just going to speak for me because I am a creature of habit. Brand loyalty, I have a high degree of that, whatever it is. I had same kind of shoe, same kind of breakfast, same kind of. So I'm on the high spectrum there.
So it's funny. Gen X is known to be high, and it's based on their personal experience, is what it says. So if you have a good experience, you're going to stick with it. It says Gen Z is a little bit lower. It's based on their values and their trends. So they're more likely to switch if they can find a women-owned brand, or they can find a queer-owned brand, or whatever it is. So it's something to keep in mind that Gen Z is a little bit more willing to go to what fits their values and their needs.
Well, and the idea that you I shouldn't say chase trends. That sounds negative. I don't mean it that way, but you are more apt to be interested in trends. I wonder if that's based on age, right? Like, so, and what I mean by that is when Gen Z is my age.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like that might feel different because you will now have had experiences and gone, no, screw those trends. You know what I mean? Like, I think
it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do one more because I don't, the last one's kind of meh. The last one we're going to do is marketing style. So like things on social, kind of like when you're looking at social trends, their marketing style. Is it more important for it to be a short form? Do you like longer? Do you like it to be more of like a trending video with all the fun sounds? Do you prefer it to be a talking video that's informative? What do you prefer?
Yeah, I guess I'll just look at if you look at my YouTube, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, right? Like that's probably one of my favorites.
Answers the question, actually, in case you're wondering. But continue.
Okay. So I watch influencer videos around business, long form for the most part, but I'll occasionally break out to short form, but honestly, almost always long form. I'll just watch it in small pieces, and then movie trailers. Those or clips from movies. Like if I just want to be entertained, I will watch clips from movies. But if I'm trying to level up, those are the two things I do mostly.
Okay. And I 100%, again, when you lean towards TikTok, I am attracted to the short form videos. It's what my brain it clicks with me. I have a shorter attention span, I feel like, in a lot of those things. So the videos, like the one where I did, were like, this is Jade. Those are like my favorite kind of trends. Every time one of those comes on, I'm going to watch it. So Gen Z, they like authentic. So they like it when it's unfiltered. They like it when it's just you being you. Short form, and visual. So like all the effects and stuff like that on the screen.
That's fascinating. It's a little contradictory, but yes. Okay.
Fair. However,
but you being you and authentic, but then we want to edit it to put all kinds of cool shit on.
Yeah, that's valid.
So it's
that's valid. Yeah. That's valid. The only argument I'll give is that I see a lot of those. Like, for example, and I'm using the one I use because I did this intentionally, so I'm giving myself a pat on the back. I didn't put makeup on that day. I spent about 30 seconds recording it and then I edited the clips, so
Sure.
that I wasn't going like this. But so then it says Gen X prefers informative and trustworthy content. So longer form, stuff that they know and trust, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I think
that was just kind of my fun take of like the two generations.
I really like that topic. That's really interesting. I will say, and again, I don't know. This is just because I'm not predicting the future, but I do think that where we are in our season of life has something to do with that. Where I'm in my career, where like now some of that will play out because maybe you'll be like, no, we always like short form because that's what we've gotten used to, and that makes sense. But I do think that some of those trends you'll be like, they might shift with age because things do. Yeah.
Well, and even just as simple as like we were talking about the fact that right now a lot of the stuff the clothes that I own are Shein. Whereas like my one friend was like, oh, well, I'm 30 now. So now I care that it's going to last forever. Because I have kids and I can't replace all my clothes. So it's just, you have to get stuff that lasts long. It's funny how she was like, I used to love the quick trends and now I don't. So anyways, actually that was one of them. Hold on. I want to say that really quickly because that was, I thought, something that was very interesting. Gen X is way more likely to splurge on things like restaurants and eating out.
Oh, for days. Yeah.
Which makes sense. Gen Z is much more likely to splurge on a nice piece of apparel. It's their highest thing that they're likely to splurge on. Like there was categories and I just highlighted the top one. Gen Z was apparel. It's Lululemon. Yeah. It's Nike. It's whatever the biggest, but they're more likely to spend the nice money. Ironically, I am not part of that. On a nice...
What's the rule, Jade? If it's not on sale...
It's not for sale. Actually, John and you'll appreciate, we were in Hobby Lobby the other day and John said, that mirror's $275. I said, oh, honey, it's not on sale. If we're in Hobby Lobby, if it's not on sale, it's not for sale. That's not how this store works. Let's go. He said, why are we here?
Well, that's a separate question. Okay, well, that's cool.
Oopsies.
So that makes a great transition into our next, which is the product of the week. And so I'm excited about this one. I actually knew what it was this time. So talk to me about the product of the week.
Today, we're talking about scissors. It is one of those products that I feel like when I first started, you mentioned scissors, and I was like, so sucky scissors? Awesome. Yeah. No, not these bad boys. Okay, these need washed. It's not the point. These are heavy-duty, thick scissors. These apparently are oh no, I just haven't used these in a long time, so they're just a little sticky. Yeah. Anyways, these are... So your imprint will go, this is the magnet, so this sticks right to your fridge, which that within itself, my husband will tell you, is the only reason we still have these scissors.
Right.
Because scissors wander off. It's a thing. Sure do. And so the fact that these have a magnet, and you don't want to lose the magnet, and that's the part that has your logo on it. So it's nice pair of scissors. Yeah,
legit pair of scissors. These are, so one of the things I always say is that you can tell what I really, really like by what I put our name on. And so this is the second or third time we've done an order of these scissors. Everybody across demographics likes them. They're very affordable, really, for it, but they're really nice. And then the thing about having really nice scissors is exactly what Jade just said, is they wander off. And so if you have a place where they go every time, the magnet really, and it's a legit magnet too, so it'll actually stay. So
well, and we were just talking about these. Awesome. These are awesome, and we were talking about our realtor that we're using in Georgia, actually. She was like, I need, like, a gift. And I was like, these are it. Because welcome to your new home. Unpack your boxes. Go ahead. Like, these are just home run city. Everyone that takes these from our office steals about 7 and runs as fast as they can. And, again, the goal is...
with scissors.
Well, maybe they deserve it if they stole them. Okay, shout out time, baby.
Yeah. So, okay. So as we do every time, we try to do a shout out to someone doing good work, someone putting themselves out there. This is a fun one for us. So if you have anybody that you want us to shout out, please let us know, and we will try and work them in. So this time here in Coshocton, we have a place called the Boathouse Tavern. It is along the river. One of the things that's interesting about Coshocton County is that it is at the where two rivers come together to make a third river. It's the Walhonding, the Tuscarawas come together to make the Muskingum. But most of our organizations sort of have our back to the river, which is a shame because it's really cool. The boathouse does not. It has a patio along the river. It's really, really nice. But they just launched a new, I think it's called the Roscoe River Float, I think is what it's called. But it's essentially canoes and kayaks where you can come here, rent canoes and kayaks, take trips, then you come back, go and have something going on at the dinner where apparently Gen X are more likely to splurge and get dinner, drinks, all that sort of thing. I really think this is a cool business venture, and it's one that I think will bring people into our community. I love any entrepreneurial venture, as you know, but one that might actually put people in our motel, I get even more excited about. So I would encourage you, if you're in the area, want to come to the area to check out that. That's our shout out for you.
That's one I'm excited about. At some point, we got to do that one because we obviously it's new and we haven't done it, and so I think that'd be a really cool one. So.
Yeah. Anyways. And I will tell you, that's something you and I both enjoy doing is spending time on the river. It is so peaceful. And you really, one of the things I think about is our area is one where Native Americans, that was actually the name of Coshocton. And there was tribes here. And every time I do something like that with a canoe or a kayak, I'm like, oh, so this is sort of what it looked like. And this is how people traveled. And I don't know, you get to see the community in a different way. And I love that. So
just in a different perspective. Really cool.
Yeah. All right. So that is our show for the day. If you, have any shout outs, if you have any feedback that you'd love to give us, man, I would love to hear about it. I know Jade would sort of like to hear about it too, I guess, in the comments below. So throw anything you have to say there. We'd love to hear that.
Make sure you register for our show.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. Please do register for our show if you're hearing this now. Show.hassemanmarketing.com. And if you want to learn more about Hasseman Marketing, hassemanmarketing.com. You can get tools and tricks there. So Jade, thank you so much. Always appreciate you taking the time. We'll do it again next week.
Love you. Bye.